Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and today we're going to introduce the Cypress testing library. So we're going to just do a test project. So I'm going to create a new project. So Cypress is sort of a newer library that kind of has these tools for doing different types of testing in an easy way. So instead of having to have all these different libraries like Mocha or Jest or Selenium or all these libraries to handle different aspects of testing, Selenium wraps a lot of this stuff all in one library, and that's sort of the why Cypress has been growing so quickly in popularity, because it's like a one-stop shop for testing your JavaScript, front end and back end. So we'll do a brief introduction. I'm certainly no expert in Cypress. But let's see here. Let's create a new folder. We'll call this Cypress 2. You can call it whatever you want. I'm gonna open up my terminal in that folder. And then what we're going to do is we're going to basically create a new project, npm init-y. I'm going to touch a index.html, and I'm going to install Cypress. npm I save dev, because it's a development dependency, Cypress. I'll be right back. Okay, just had to go pick up a delivery that just came in. So let's go back to where we were. Okay, so that's right over here. Okay, so we're installing Cypress, so we hit enter on that, and that'll install it as a dev dependency, which it does take a while to download because it has to build some. It comes with a binary, it has to build the binary. Well, the first time you do it, it's going to take a while. That time didn't take so long. Okie dokie. And then the first thing we have to do, so first I'm going to try it this way, see if we have to do the whole binary thing. But basically you do Cypress open. You just need to open the file. Nope, you have to build the binary first. So what we have to do is we gotta do I think it's /node modules /bin/Cypress, and I think it's open. Let's double check here. Node modules bin Cypress. There it is. So it's .bin. .bin, and let that open up that file. So then it's going to basically run Cypress for you, and this kind of gets things started. It creates all these folders and stuff for you, which is really nice. And actually, let me do something real quick. Just want to move this over to this side. No, I want it there. Well, that's not exactly what I wanted, but there we go. That's what I want. And just want to move this over there. Good. Just so I have it all in one panel, one workspace. Okay, so basically what happens, it created all these folders. This is fine. I'm going to close this for now. We just want to get built the first time, so that way it's available to us. And then I'm going to go to package.json, and I'm going to create a new command called E2E for end-to-end testing. And essentially all this command does is, going forward, we'll have access to the Cypress command, so Cypress open. Good. Okay, so we have that set up. Sweet. Now let's go back to our index.html. Let's just do a quick boilerplate. Do a quick form with a quick input. Type text. Okay. And I'll leave it at that for now. Okay, so then we go into our Cypress folder, into integration. You can delete all the examples. Delete. You can look through them if you want. I'm going to just create a new file. Okay, form dot spec.js. Okay, and then in here, kind of like Jest, you start off with a describe function. So we're gonna see if the form test the form. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna test the form, and we're gonna run several tests on that form. So the first test we're going to do in here, instead of test, it's IT. Okay, so for IT for integration test, because it's actually technically it's using Mocha or borrowing from Mocha under the hood, which is another testing library. It works pretty much the same as Jest. Okay, okay, and then we have to give that particular test a name. We're going to say, does the form exist? Okay. Okay, and then here we go. And then what you do is you use CY for Cypress, and you can do things to test the DOM. So I can do CY. Oh, VS Code always trying to fill things in. CY dot what's the word I'm looking for? Let me go take a look at my previous example. Cypress integration format spec. I'm looking for visit. That's right. We want it to visit the URL. Okay. Which, so back here. So first we need to make sure it visits the right place. We want it to visit the root, which is going to be right there. Now we're going to serve this file, so we have to tell what URL it's going to visit. So we're going to do that in our cypress.json. So we have to do base URL. We're going to use serve to do it. So base URL is going to be, and if you had like a deployed website, you could do that as well. It's http:// www.localhost, or actually just localhost 5000. Okay, so there's our base URL. So essentially, when I go, what's that? Okay, so what it's going to do is going to visit there first, and then we want to see if the form exists. So cy.get means get an element. So think of it kind of like query selector, but except, you know, it's successful if we actually get the element. So we're going to get the form element. Okay, and that would be a successful test if it gets the form. Then maybe we want to do another test. IT. Does the input exist? Does the input exist? Okay. Then we do a callback with our tests. And again, all these commands are in the CY object. So CY, we already visited. I don't think I have to visit again, but we'll see what happens. CY, I might have to visit again, but now I want to get the input, but specifically I want to get the one where the type equals text. Okay, which there should only be one. Okay, so that's my selector, and that's my test, and that should be it. So let's test that out. So first we need to run the server. So I'm going to type in npx serve, so that way I don't install a separate server. I just do npx serve, and that'll serve the folder on port 5000. So see, I'm served on port 5000. I'm going to open up another terminal in this folder, and I'm going to type in here npm run e2e. Okay, that's going to open up Cypress, which will run those tests and tell us if anything goes wrong. Okay, so we're going to say, hey, run these tests, forms.spec.js. And we're going to see right there the tests are successful. Does the form exist? Yes. Does the input exist? Yes. So all these tests were successful. Okay, each of these things ran. Okay. Now let's run that one that would fail. Okay, so let's do another test. IT, does a button exist? Okay, and then we put this in there. Okay, and does a button exist? What we want to do is cy.get, see if there is a button element. And let's see what happens. Their assertion, timeout trying did not find the element. So see, it never found a button. Okay, so, and I can, again, using the different types of query selectors, you could sit there and look for a button with a particular class or with a particular ID. So you can test for all sorts of things, see if it's going on there. So this is just like testing out what's going on the front end. And you can test whether the button works, whether if it makes an API call to a certain endpoint, does it actually do it? And you can get back an automated response. There's all sorts of different things you can test here. On top of just the normal unit testing, what the idea here is you're testing the website in action. So that's sort of different than like the unit testing. We're just testing whether a particular function works. Okay. Okay, and then here are just some other stuff for other features that it has. But I think that's a good start. We'll do more videos on Cypress. I'll just keep working on from this project. But again, the basic idea is, just to recap, you started your project, you installed Cypress, you had to run the Cypress binary, we created the script, the E2E script, and then we just basically wrote some tests that checked whether certain elements are on our HTML page, whether you could visit a particular URL, and that allowed us to test whether things were working. So, yeah, that's where Cypress becomes useful. I'll see you guys in the next video.